You might think of chemical reactions as occurring exclusively in laboratories, but in reality, they occur in the world around us and in our own bodies every day. Most chemical reactions involve the exchange of energy between molecules and compounds. The bonds which hold molecules together contain a tremendous amount of energy. When these bonds are broken, a large amount of energy is released. This also means that it takes a great deal of energy to form bonds. The total energy of a chemical reaction is determined by the number of bonds broken and formed. An endothermic reaction occurs when a greater amount of energy is required to break the existing bonds in the reactants than is released when the new bonds form in the products. In other words, this means an endothermic reaction requires or takes in energy in order for it to proceed. This required energy can be provided in many forms, but it is typically in the form of heat. That is, endothermic reactions will often draw heat from their environment in order to take place. Endothermic reactions are fairly common. One of the most common examples of an endothermic reaction can be found in your garden: photosynthesis, the reaction which allows plants to use sunlight to produce food and energy. The energy that is taken in during photosynthesis is light energy from the sun. The light energy is absorbed by tiny organelles known as chloroplasts. They contain a pigment known as chlorophyll. The chloroplasts are able to take in light energy and, through a series of processes, create sugars that the plants can use as an energy source. Since the plants require light energy to fuel the process and build complex sugar molecules, photosynthesis is a true endothermic reaction. Another simple endothermic reaction can be found in your kitchen. Leave a glass of ice water on a counter for a few hours. What will happen to the ice? Eventually, it will begin to melt. The water pulls in heat from the environment, and the heat breaks the bonds that hold the ice in its solid state, causing the melting of ice. Since the process takes in heat, it is another endothermic reaction. Try making an endothermic reaction happen yourself by simply putting a cube of ice into a glass of warm water with a thermometer. Once you insert the cube of ice, you will see the temperature of the water gradually begin to decrease. The melting ice cube is absorbing the heat from the water, which lowers the temperature of the surrounding water. It's an endothermic reaction at work. Chemical reactions normally involve the exchange of energy. Reactions will give off large amounts of energy, but will draw energy from their environment to create new chemical bonds. Any chemical reaction that requires or absorbs more energy than it gives off is considered to be endothermic. Endothermic reactions are found in many different places in everyday life. The plants in your garden feed through photosynthesis, an endothermic reaction, and the ice in your glass of water will draw heat from its surroundings as it melts, another endothermic reaction. Can you think of other reactions that consume energy?